Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in for today's video. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I am going to be sharing with you a little over 50 crochet ideas for the whimsigoth aesthetic. And I absolutely love dressing in this styling. I love styling my house with celestial themes, and I just thought it would be fun to share some crochet ideas I have for this aesthetic and theme. And if you don't have any clothes or any home decor or things with this aesthetic, you're in luck, because I'm going to show you how to make a bunch of fun things. So stay tuned for this video. Also, I'm going to be recommending the yarn that I would use for each pattern, and all of the yarn is from Hobbii. They have amazing Black Friday sales going on right now, and also you can use my code Hannah Drapinski for even more money off all throughout the month of November. Y'all already know just how much I love Hobbii yarn, so I will have links in my description to their site if you would like to go check it out. But let's go ahead and get started with the video. I'm going to be sharing a lot of patterns. Some of them are free, some of them you do have to pay for, and others are just some pictures that I found on Pinterest that have inspired me that I want to share with you. First up, we have this crocheted maxi skirt. Now, this is a free pattern on my YouTube channel, and you can easily make it in a solid. I want to make one of these in just a plain solid color. I just used up a lot of scrap yarn for this skirt in particular, but you can use a solid color if you want. You can do a bunch of colors like I did, but I just wanted to use up a bunch of yarn that I had lying around, and it was perfect for that. If you're more into like a variegated yarn, I would suggest Hobbie's mocktail yarn. They have two colors in particular that I think would be perfect for this skirt. First, they have Blueberry Mule. It has like silvery tones in it. And then the second one is Virgin Halloween. It also has, I believe it looks like gold as well, like gold undertones with the purple. And it is so beautiful. I actually have like, I think 8 of these in my cart right now because I really want to try this out. I made a dress with the Blueberry Mule, and it's actually fairly lightweight. One thing you want to take into consideration when making this skirt, it is going to be very heavy. Anything crochet that you make that is long, a maxi skirt, a maxi dress, it is going to be rather heavy. And I made a maxi dress with this mocktail yarn, and it really truly wasn't that heavy. So it is some yarn that I would definitely recommend for this. Also, you don't want to use a cotton yarn because cotton is super duper heavy. So I would suggest using any of their Amigo yarns, which is 100% acrylic. And then they also have an Amigo light worsted DK as well. Also, if you want to add some different textures, you can add their Fluffy Day yarn, which is super fun. But if you are to make this skirt, I would definitely use an acrylic yarn or an acrylic blend, just no cotton, because it's just way too heavy. Next up, we have this really pretty lacy collar. For this, I would recommend using the Baby Cotton Organic yarn. It is 100% Egyptian cotton, and it is a fingering sock weight yarn. And I found this tutorial on YouTube. It's a really, really beautiful pattern, but you will need to put on subtitles if you need it in English. So you just click on closed captions, and then you will see all of the instructions in English. I think that this Baby Cotton Organic, which is 100% Egyptian cotton, and it's a fingering sock weight, I think this would be a really good option for this. Or one of my new favorites is their upcycled alpaca silk. It is limited edition, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's a blend of baby alpaca and mulberry silk, and it is a sport weight. Next, we have this Dragonfly bandana pattern. If you would like a written pattern, I found this one on Etsy. This one looks really good. Or if you would like a free pattern and a video tutorial, I found 2 of these on YouTube from Crochet by LJ and Bag a Day Crochet. They both look really good. And the yarn I would recommend is this Olivin I'm not quite sure how to say that, but it is one of my faves. I absolutely love this yarn. It is a 50-50 cotton and linen blend, sport weight. For anything that needs to be very drapey, like a bandana, I would suggest using a sport, a sock, something that is very lightweight. Like if you're using a thicker worsted weight, it's going to be more bulky on your head. You want to have something, even lace, honestly, something that's going to drape very nicely on your head for any bandana at all. But this yarn in particular has so many pretty colors. It also has kind of like a variation in the yarn, which is fun. So I think this one would be really pretty for this pattern. Next up, we have another free tutorial from me. It is my star crochet tutorials, and any of these in this video would be very good for this aesthetic. But I really love this chunky star sweater. It is modeled after Coraline sweater in, of course, Coraline. And yarn for this, I think that there's Snowstorm yarn from Hobbii. It is a 100% wool, bulky. I think in Midnight Blue would be super pretty. You don't have to use bulky if you don't want to, if you don't want your sweater to be too bulky. But if you're trying to make it like I did in the video, I used a very bulky yarn. Also for the little stars, the Rainbow Cotton 8-4 yarn is 100% cotton. It is fingering, sock weight, and I would use the nude, but you can also use white. You could use purple. You could use any color you want, but I would use the nude for the stars. Next up, we have the blanket from the same video, and you can use cotton or acrylic for this. If you want this to be a little bit more affordable, you can use the Amigo XL worsted weight yarn. You could also use the Friends Cotton 8-8. It is a DK weight yarn. You could also use the Highland wool. It is 100% Persian Highland wool. You could also use their Easy Care, which is 100% super wash merino wool. And merino wool is probably one of the most luxurious things for a blanket, I would say, because it is really good for temperature control. It's good for the winter. It's good for the summer. Any type of, even the Peruvian Highland wool. I think I said Peruvian. Maybe I said Persian. It's Peruvian Highland wool. Both of those types of wools are very good for a blanket. They are just more expensive. So if you're trying to do something a little more cost effective, you could use the Amigo XL or the Friends Cotton. They have so many different colors. And the same goes for the other patterns in the video. You can use acrylic for the little star garland and for the little star pouch, or you could use cotton, either one of those two, either one of the Friends Cotton or the Amigo XL. Next, I have a bunch of random pictures that I found on Pinterest that I thought were so pretty. So if you're somebody who can look at a picture and come up with a pattern, I was even looking at these and I was like, I could probably come up with a pattern for most of these. So I'm just going to pop those all over the screen and show you what I'm thinking that would be really pretty for this aesthetic. Also for the yarns to use, you can use the Friends Cotton for these. You could use the Friends Cotton Silk, the Twister Solid XL, which is one of my new favorites, the Rainbow Cotton 8-6, the Twister Solid, which is a lighter weight, and it is a sport. And I love using sport. I think sport is my favorite weight of yarn to use. I always immediately go to sport weight yarn. If I were to pick, I would always pick sport weight. Next up is another pattern from yours truly, the Earthy Fairy Poncho crochet tutorial. I love a good poncho, and this one is super simple, very beginner friendly, and you can switch up the colors super easily to fit any aesthetic. If you want some variation to your poncho, you can use a dyed yarn. If you want a solid, I would of course recommend the Twister Solid, but if you want some more variation, you can use Hobbie's Tea Time yarn, their Universe yarn. They have so many beautiful options for the colors. I really also like the cookie ones, Limelight and Skyfall. I thought of would be really beautiful for this pattern. Next one I recommend is the Floral Lace Sweater tutorial on my channel. It is also free, and for yarn for that, I would use the Olivin again, or the Rainbow Cotton 8-4. 8/4, or the twister solid. Anything that is a fingering, a sock, or a sport weight yarn, something that's very lightweight. Next up is another pattern for me, this Penny Lane crochet cardigan, and especially in this purple color, I think is really giving whimsigoth vibes. You can use the Friends Cotton 8/4 or the Friends Cotton 8/6 if you would prefer a thicker cardigan. Also the Amigo yarn if you prefer working with acrylic yarn. And then for the fluff around the edges, you can use the Couture 100% acrylic sport weight yarn for that. Next one is not a pattern for me. It is from Mumsy Makes Crochet. She also has a written pattern for it, but she also has a free pattern on her YouTube channel for these beautiful moon coasters, and I love these. I'm going to make these as soon as I can, but they are super, super cute. And for these, I would recommend using the Friends Cotton 8/8, which is the DK yarn. Cotton yarn is nice and washable, so I would definitely use a cotton over an acrylic. In case you spill your tea or your coffee or your soup on it, they're just nicer to wash. Next up, we have these celestial pillows, and there's a free pattern for the moon one on the redagapeblog.com. And then for the star, Threads of Luck Crochet on Etsy has this really affordable one for $1.39, and it is super cute. And then yarn for this, Toucan Sprinkle in Black Currant. I thought this one was super fun because it's kind of like got these little sparklies going on. That'd be really pretty for the moon. And then, of course, their Honey Bunny, and then their Honey Bunny Shine. The cool blue has like this really sparkly element to it. And then the Baby Snuggle Solid in Curry. That would be really pretty for either the sun, the moon, or the star, any of them, because it's like this really pretty, rich, yellowy mustard color. Next, we have this blue star set. It is a really pretty kind of like bolero, and I would recommend using, again, the mocktail yarn for this, their portobello yarn, tea time. I really thought that their cookie yarn would be really pretty for this, or if you wanted a solid, of course, my favorite Twister Solid XL in the Dutch blue, I thought would be so pretty. And then using for the stars and the moon, you could just use the Rainbow Cotton 8/4 in the nude color, but I think that it would be super fun to make just even the portobello yarn, how it kind of has a little bit of white highlighting. I thought that'd be kind of fun because of the night sky isn't always like super just one color. And the same goes for even the mocktail, how it has other tones in there with the silvers and the dark colors and the grays. Same with the tea time, with that color number 12 has some really beautiful blue shades in it. So if you want a yarn that has a bunch of different colors, you can use that, or you can just use the Twister Solid XL that is just a plain solid. You could also use any of the Amigo or the cotton yarns as well that I spoke about earlier in the video if you want just a solid color. Next, we have this absolutely dreamy coat, this hooded cardigan. I have wanted to make this for an eternity. It is just, I am so envious of this. I want to make it so bad. I need to find the time to do it. And this pattern is $8 on Etsy by Earth Tricks, and you can use the Rainbow Cotton 8/4 for this. I would recommend. It is a fingering sock weight yarn, and I think it would make a beautiful drape for this cardigan. And from the same shop, there is this beautiful deluxe Fairy Queen crop top, and I would use the same yarn. You could use a different color, you can use the same color, but the Rainbow Cotton has so many different colors. Next up is the Swan Lake skirt by Stitched by Emma on Etsy, the Friends Kid Silk or the Diablo yarn for the mohair, and then any of the, even the soft alpaca, the fingering sock weight, that one's such a good one. Rainbow Cotton 8/4, and then also soft alpaca lace. And then another pattern by Stitched Stitched by Emma this beautiful Ophelia top. You can use so many of the yarns that I mentioned for this, but I really liked the Cookie. Cookie has so many different beautiful variegated yarns, and I think that one would be really beautiful for this. But even Tea Time has some gorgeous rich autumnal tones that would be beautiful for this pattern as well. Next up, we have this Batwing hoodie, and this is on the more expensive end of patterns. It is $17.53. You could use Hobbie's Highland Wool yarn. It is their Peruvian Highland Wool. You could use the Friends Cotton 88. They have like 75 different colors, so many different colors. Next up is this beautiful 70s inspired cardigan by Earth by Morg. On Etsy, it is $9.02, and I would use the Friends Cotton 84 for this. And I think it would make a really nice, relaxed, flowy, drapey cardigan. Next is another free pattern from me, this spiral sweater crochet tutorial that I made about a year ago. I do want to make an updated version of this just with some troubleshooting tips, but I am including some other pictures of some people who used my pattern and just made the most coolest looking sweaters. I'm absolutely obsessed with their versions. I used an acrylic yarn for mine. You can use the Amigo yarn from Hobbii. You could also use the Twister Solid XL. Next, we have this Dragonfly baby doll shirt from Shop Sunny Days Craft on Etsy. And if you want to make a solid version, like she has this cream version, you can use their Rainbow Cotton 86, or if you want the variation, you can of course use the Tea Time, the Cicada yarn, or the Twister Solid XL if you want a solid. Next, we have this Trail of Blossoms scarf. It is a pattern from Lion brand. I would recommend using the upcycled alpaca silk yarn. It says this yarn is limited edition, so I would hurry up and get some because it's absolutely fabulous. You could use their charcoal gray or their peony or truly any of the colors. They're all super, super beautiful. Next is this chunky crochet hooded scarf wrap from A Choosy One on Etsy. It's only $3.50, and I would use the Umami Tweed. It is a super bulky, or the Snowstorm again, or the Udon super bulky. There are a lot of beautiful bulky yarns on Hobbii, but these are just some of my favorites. Next, we have these two beautiful blankets, this sun and star and moon one. All you need to do is learn how to make each of those granny squares, and then you can whip up the most beautiful blankets. Also, there's this cute Apple Orchard Afghan. It's a vintage pattern, and it is really, really, really cute. I love it so much. And for these, I would use the Twister Solid XL, the Divina yarn. You could use the Pom Pom Garland yarn, and they have so many pretty colors, I think like 30, and I have not yet tried this yarn, but I really, really want to. It's a cotton and alpaca blend, and it's so pretty. You could also use the upcycled alpaca blend yarn. I have tried this one, and I do love it very much, but any of these would be really beautiful for any blanket that you make. Next is this crochet Celtic Garden braided cable scarf. It is from Rebecca's Stylings on Etsy. It's $3.99. I have never tried making cable crochet, but it is so insanely gorgeous, and it looks a little bit tricky, and I'm kind of intimidated, not gonna lie, but I do want to try it. So if I were to, I would use the upcycled alpaca silk, or the alpaca silk, which is 70% alpaca, 30% mulberry silk, or I would use the Friends cotton silk, any of these lighter weight yarns. And then we have this super cool cicada crochet like shawl type thing. You could use this as a tapestry to hang on your wall, or you could use it as like a wrap or a shawl. So cool. I am currently getting into tapestry crochet, and I am obsessed. The options are insanely like limitless. I was trying to think of the word, but limitless. They're so unlimited. There's so many things you can make when you learn tapestry crochet. It's so insanely cool. And I would use the Twister Solid or the Twister Solid XL or the Friends Cotton 8/8 for this pattern. And the same, I would use the same yarns for the next 3 patterns. We have this sun face tapestry, this crochet sun tapestry on Etsy as well for $5.30, and then we have this sun and moon mosaic crochet pattern by 6L Design. Any of these, you can use those Twister Solid XL, or the Friends Cotton, but I would definitely recommend any of those. Then we have this super unique Luna Moth bandana by Mythic Mist on Ravelry. So I would use a Friends Cotton yarn or anything that's like a fingering, sock, sport weight yarn for this. And next we have a couple vintage patterns. This one kind of looks like a corset to me, and it's $1.90. It is a vintage 70s pattern, and usually with these they're sometimes a little bit tricky to read, but it's super pretty. And the Etsy shop is called Past Pattern Palooza Co, and it's very cheap. Also this one as well, $1.99, this vintage crochet pattern button-up corset ruffle top. Both of these two are super beautiful and I thought fit this aesthetic very well. You could use the Olivin yarn again, the Twister Solid, Friends Wheel, Rainbow Deluxe 8/4, Friends Cotton 8/4, or Alpaca Silk. And again, all of these yarns are more of like the sport weight, the fingering, the sock, anything that's very light and drapey for more lacy crochet patterns. And then I also found this dress on Pinterest and I was so obsessed, and then I came across this vintage crochet pattern, which is the Juliet style dress from the 70s. It is literally a vintage 1970s pattern, and it is so stunning. I'm definitely going to be getting this. It's only $4. It's from Corner Nostalgia on Etsy, but you could make it with these beautiful purples, blues, anything, and I think it really fits this aesthetic so perfectly, with even the puffed sleeves and then those bell sleeves as well, like the puff and the bell combo. It's so unique and so beautiful. I would again use the Olivin, the Twister Solid, or the Friends Wheel for this pattern. Then we have another ruffly style bell sleeve. I have had this in my favorites on Etsy for a really long time. It is the Lacy Dream Cardigan, and I love it. It is $12.12, so a little bit more on the expensive end, but it's so worth it. Even just scrolling through the pictures that they have on here, it is such a beautiful piece. I absolutely love it. I would either use the Twister Solid, the Friends Wheel, or the Olivin again for this. And next we have this Butterflies and Shadows doily, and I thought for anything that is decoration around your home, this is so unique. I had seen this for the first time ever the other day. It is from Cat Lady Crochet Shop on Etsy. It's $4.99, and I love that it's monarchs, but you can make it even blues, you can do yellows, any type of butterfly color that you want. And I would use a soft alpaca lace, which is a lace weight. For anything that's kind of like a doily like this, I would use more of a lighter weight, but if you want, you can also use the Rainbow Cotton 8/4 or the Friends 8/4, anything that is definitely more lightweight. And again, this is another crochet pattern that I really want. I have had this also in my favorites for a super long time. It is from Moon Creek Valley on Etsy. It's $9.13. It is on sale currently. I'm not sure if it's going to be on sale when I post this, but it is on sale currently. I am absolutely obsessed with this purple version that this creator made. It is so jaw-droppingly gorgeous. I also love this fuzzy cream version. It's so pretty. It literally looks like you're wearing a butterfly. It's so much fun. You can use Hobbie's Mohair Delight, which is a worsted weight version of their mohair. It's 50% mohair, 50% acrylic. So if you want that fuzzy kind of texture, you can use that yarn. They have like 23 different colors, so you don't have to use the creamy beige if you don't want to. Or if you want one that has differences in the yarn, you can use their Universe. I really liked the Light Year color number 30. I thought that one was super pretty. Or Zenith. I really liked that one too. And then, of course, the Alpaca Silk, which is the fingering sock one that I really, really love. Next, we have another pattern from me, this bell sleeve top crochet tutorial. But I would go to my Pixie Lagoon set and find the end of the video more so. I include some troubleshooting tips from that original video, the bell sleeve top. So if you had some struggles with that, just find that Pixie Lagoon set video and I will solve some of your problems. But as for yarn for this, you can use the Garland yarn from Hobbii, the Rainbow Cotton 8/6, the Olivin, the Twister Solid, the Dahlia Mix in Sport, and just honestly any of the yarns that you want from Hobbii. You could use any yarn at all with this pattern. I have another vintage crochet pattern, this Crochet Rose top. It is filet crochet and it's only $3.65 from Moments in Twine, and I really want to make this. I love filet crochet. I'm absolutely obsessed. It looks like a doily. I want to make it so much. You could use the alpaca silk or the soft alpaca lace for this. Next, we have this pattern from Made by Anita Crochet. Also another one from Chicky by the Sea, which is a vintage version of this. But when I tell you, I saw this pattern on Pinterest today for the first time and my jaw dropped. I want it. I'm going to be making this as soon as possible. It is literally a crocheted quilt. I am in love. You could use the Highland wool, which wool of course is a very good option for blankets, a Peruvian wool or a merino wool. Merino wool is honestly one of the best bets for wearables and for blankets, for pretty much anything really. You could also use the Twister Solid XL or the Friends Cotton Silk for this blanket. But yes, there is this vintage version. There's two in this pattern from Chicky by the Sea, and it's only $3, which I think is a really good bargain. So I'm not sure which one I want to make, but I'm just going back and forth because they're both so beautiful. Next up, another one that I have been wanting to do for so long, this beautiful Willow wrap top with lace details in the back from Mana Crafts on Etsy. It is a more expensive pattern, $14.22, but when you just scroll through the work that must have gone into this, it's definitely a lot of work that they put into making this pattern. So just scrolling through all the inspiration pictures, this beautiful pink and like wine colored version, like it is breathtakingly beautiful. They did such a wonderful job on this piece. And for this, we have the Garland yarn, the upcycled alpaca blend, the Cicada, Rainbow Cotton 8/6, cookie in, I think the chlorophyll color would be really cool. And then we have Friends wool in this maroon color. I thought that maroon deep wine color was so beautiful. Also in the Twister Solid in that wine, number 117, was just super beautiful. I really, really love this wine color that they have. It's so pretty. And then also if you wanted to make that cream color, Twister Solid XL has a light tan color that I think would be really good for that. Then same yarns I would recommend for this beautiful moon, sun, stars crochet jumper. It is really unique. I also saw this for the first time the other day with this beautiful kind of mandala in the front with this moon in the front and then this star in the back, or you could, have the star in the front or the moon in the front, whatever one you prefer, but absolutely beautiful pattern also on Etsy. Next, we have this cute little layering vest. It's a cottage vest and it's from Morale Fiber, and I absolutely love Morale Fiber's patterns. Any of them at all are so inspiring to me. So if you want any super inspiring patterns, I'll also include another one that I found from them. So beautiful. This beautiful cardigan pattern. They have a free tutorial on YouTube for it. So I will also include a little screenshot of the playlist and of her YouTube channel name. But for this vest, I think it would be really fun to use, again, the Twister Solid wine color would be really pretty. Here we have another pattern from Morale Fiber, this beautiful poncho. It is so stunning. I definitely want to try to make this one too someday. And then I also found this picture on Pinterest. It is another poncho. You can just make these 3 individual granny squares and then just keep adding rows around the squares to make them bigger. So this just needs 3 squares in the front, 3 squares in the back. Then you add some rows to the neck, add some fringe. So adorable. I definitely want to try to recreate this as well. And then we have this beautiful granny square sweater. This is super easy. You can just make a bunch of granny squares, seam them together. Very simple pattern. And for these, you can use the Amigo light worsted DK yarn. They have so many colors. The Portobello have so many colors. The Friends Cotton Silk, Friends Cotton 8/6. Again, so many colors. And the Amigo XL also has so many colors that you can use for any of these patterns that I just mentioned. I think for that sun moon poncho, that with the star, I think that would be good to have more of a thicker weight yarn. It looks like in the picture it's a more thicker weight yarn that they used. But okay, so that is the end of my 50 plus patterns. I definitely have more ideas of patterns saved, so if you want another part to this, or if you want to see me do a different aesthetic, just let me know. I would be more than happy to make another one of these. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you really enjoyed it. I hope you make some of these patterns because they're all just so incredibly lovely. I will see you guys in the next video. It is late and I must needs go put my children to bed for the evening, but thank you for being here again, for all the love, all the support. If you like this video and you have a whimsigoth friend, share it with them so they can crochet some pretty stuff for themselves. Or if you have a friend with this aesthetic who doesn't know how to crochet, you can whip them something up for Christmas or their birthday or just because you love them. So yeah, that is all. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.